This is A's Cast Live. Comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
And the pitch is swung on, hit the right field, hit deep. Whitefield going back at the track, over his head, and over the wall. Do you believe that?
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Ramirez with a drive to deep right, away back, goal!
Go Hayes hits a bomb out there by the Rocks. And boy, oh boy, this third inning is now showtime.
It is a judging blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to spin rates to game-changing moments. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us next from the town, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Well, good morning, A's fans. How is everybody doing? I hope you are doing well, as we have another great show for you. Coming up on today's program, we've got Tim Neverett of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Today we are previewing the Dodgers, and we've been working on our Dodger trivia. I have a Marty Lurie special for Johnny today. If he gets this, and it's a trivia question that my dad always had, you've got to be so knowledgeable. It's old school, but not crazy old school. Like we're not taking you back to Brooklyn. It's LA. But I got you've got a couple good ones too.
Yeah.
Your Dodger baseball.
We're not going to ask him because we saw on Mad Dog Show who hit the first home run at the Trop, opposing and home player. We don't want to ask him that one. I mean, we know the answer, but because we looked it up.
You can tell him who hit the first home, because it's today. Like, was this the year of the expansion of the Rockies and the Rockies? I thought the Rockies went in with the Marlins, right?
Yeah, that would have been 93, right?
Yeah, when one of the greatest,
maybe it's the 25th anniversary of the Rays.
One of the greatest bullpen sessions I've ever seen was opening day. Do you know, if we're talking trivia, and I do not want to start the show off with trivia, but this is classic. Do you know who the opening day starter for the Marlins, the Fish, was against the Los Angeles Dodgers? Do you know who the opening day starter was? And it's literally one of the greatest things I've ever seen on ESPN.
I know the first pitch in Marlins franchise history was 49ers GM John Lynch, correct?
John Lynch was a double-A pitcher for the Marlins. He was the very first pitcher ever to throw a pitch as a Marlin, I guess, employee, you would call it.
All right. So
because they started, with expansion teams, you start with minor league teams and then the big league team comes. But who, through the first pitch in Marlins history, it's literally the greatest thing, one of the greatest things I've ever seen on ESPN. Who am I?
Oh, all the guys I was going to say were later in Marlins history.
It's not Kevin Brown.
Wait, it's not Levon Hernandez?
No,
it's not Al Leiter.
Levon Hernandez probably wasn't even born. Well, he'd be a little kid.
In Marlins history?
Marlins history.
Levon Hernandez wouldn't have been born. He played for the team like 4 years later.
That's why I said he would have been a little kid.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to take a guess.
Charlie Huff.
The knuckleballer?
And when he was warming up in the bullpen, it was a big deal, right? I'll never forget watching it. It's at the first game. It's the Marlins' first game, right? It's Dodgers, it's Marlins, and they go down and they put the camera on Charlie Huff. He's warming up in the bullpen, smoking a cigarette. Now, at the time, I'm playing college baseball, right? And I'm like, you think about everything we're trying to do. You're trying to lift. You're trying to gain weight. You're trying to throw harder. You're trying to do all these things. And here is a guy starting the first game ever in the history of the Marlins, smoking a cigarette, a heart dart, as he's in the bullpen warming up for the game, for this historic game, right? Because the minute you throw out the first pitch, it goes to the Baseball Hall of Fame and all that kind of stuff. And Charlie Huff was smoking cigarettes. Joe Pun, Director of Spring Training Business Operations down at Hohokam. If you are a spring training person, if you go down all the time, you see Joe. I just want you to hear about everything that we're doing for your spring training experience down in Arizona. It's awesome. You need to go. I've had so many people say to me, like, I've always wanted to go. Well, go. Make it a priority. It's back to normal. Everything is back to normal. Get down to Arizona and get some spring training in your life. You're going to love it. Well, I mean, it hasn't been all that warm, but usually it's 75 degrees, 80 degrees. I mean, the weather's great. As Joe's going to tell you, we got food trucks. We got great food. You can sit out on the berm. You can sit in the stadium. We got new things going. We got a whole now right field terrace kind of thing out in right field to hang out with chairs and stuff. I mean, it's like spring training's awesome. So for all of you, God, I've always wanted to do that. Or God, I've always wanted to go back. Joe Punn's going to make you want to go back. That's coming up here at 11 o'clock. And then Johnny Doskow will be doing the play-by-play today. Who are we playing today?
The Dodgers.
Well, that's right, the Dodgers.
You can watch the game on MLB.TV, or listen on A's Cast and Bloomberg 960 AM today as we take on the 6-2 Dodgers. By the way, I found the first home run at the LA Coliseum also for the Dodgers. Well, not the Dodgers, just the first overall home run hit at the LA Coliseum. It was by, wait for it, a Giant.
The first home runs. Remember, the Dodgers didn't start at Chavez Ravine. They started at the LA Coliseum. Oh, we got some Dodger trivia for Johnny today. Yesterday's Colombian knowledge wasn't that great.
Oh, no, he got Edgar Renteria. That was the question. It was
he was 1 for 1.
Yeah,
on
remember
that?
we stumped him the Diamondbacks trivia.
Oh yeah. He wasn't good with the Pablo Escobar trivia either when we were going into Colombia. Yes, we did lose to Team Colombia yesterday. I'm just going to tell everybody right now, WBC, I'm out. And when I'm out, as our old boss used to say, and when I'm out, I'm out.
Gone.
I'm out. You're going to play for 3 hours and 41 minutes? I'm out. You're going to play for 3 hours, 46 minutes? I'm out. Yes, he was from the East Coast. I mean, we're watching MLB Network this morning, and they put up the time of China, Japan, 3 hours and 46 minutes, and then Italy with the big win over Cuba, 3 hours and 41. I'm done. I am not, unless it's an A's game, that I will be taking phone calls after the game, or it's a postseason game. I am never sitting around for 3 hours and 40 minutes again to watch a baseball game. Not doing it. Those days are gone.
Gone.
The only reason I do it for football is because I got some scratch on it. How many times in your life can you really sit down for 3 hours and 45 minutes and just watch something on television on your couch? Yeah, you might get up, go to the bathroom, make something to eat, but dedicate in a day. You got 24 hours. You're going to dedicate 3 hours and 45 minutes. That's almost 4 hours to sit around and watch a baseball game. Like the pitch timer haters, you guys literally have no lives. You really have no life. And I'm going to say that and be honest with you. What kind of life do you have where you can dedicate 3.5 to 4 hours every day to watching baseball? One team, one game. What else do you have going on? Do you have a significant other? Do you have kids? Do you have a job? Do you have a life? Do you have friends who literally can watch 3.5? And I know some. Well, my friends are at the ballpark. Okay, what do you do when we go on the road? How can you sit there? Then it's not about baseball. Then I get it. It's about you, and it's about you and your friends about you. And I get it. And we love all the fans that are willing to stick around for 3 hours and 45 minutes every night. But what are you doing with your life? How do you have that much time? This is the whole point of the pitch timer. I got 2 hours, 36 minutes. I don't got 3 hours, 45. That is a long, long time. And that's watching on television. If you got to drive to the game, you got to park, you got to get there early. Now I got to drive home. You're talking about a baseball game every day being 4.5 hours to 5 hours of your life, you only have 24 hours. You got to sleep. They want you to sleep 8 hours. So if you're telling me I got to sleep 8 hours and I got to do at least 4+ hours because I got to get there, I got to park, I don't have that many hours left in the day.
I think asking people of my generation, my age group, about sitting there for 3 hours to watch a baseball game is a little different because
No. I'm not talking 3 hours. These games are 3 hours and 45, 3 hours and 41.
I know.
Oh, excuse me, 346 and 341.
I know we have bad attention spans because of the iPhone and all the tablets and stuff.
Yes.
But so many people now binge watch shows on Netflix and HBO Max that they're there for 10+ hours a day watching television. But yeah, for baseball and other sports, no. I mean, I don't know how many people actually, besides football, they actually sit there and go, I watched every minute, every play, every inning, every pitch of a game.
And then you'd go back and watch the tape and you'd break it down frame by frame.
Yeah, I need, well, you know, when the A's play a game, I go back and watch the game the next morning too, because I need to see, especially now with all the young guys like Kyle Muller, I want to see how he locates his slider. Where
should we let him in on that joke?
No, I think it's good to keep teasing.
I think we should let him in. Well, we'll finally let you in on the joke. Our old colleague, Greg Papa, used to lie about how much, or he still does probably. I don't listen to his show on KMBR. He absolutely lies on all this stuff that he watches. That he literally said a Warrior game, playoff game, because back then when he was on 95.7 and he was working at the time for NBC Sports Bay Area, that he went back and watched the Warrior playoff game frame by frame, to where the great Michael Baird, who works for us, the A's, as our head engineer, and also works for NBC Sports Bay Area, said, do you realize how long it would take you to watch a game frame by frame? Frame by frame. You would have to do it every day, all day for months. Papa did it in a 10-hour span. I went back and watched it frame by frame. I've gone back and watched this game 3 times. Well, if you need to go back and watch something 3 times, maybe you didn't watch it the first time.
I always love that. Not just him, when anyone goes, I went back and watched the game.
Well, then it made everybody on 95.7, our generation of 95.7, it made everybody became YouTube scouts. Now everybody's like, I went back and I was watching the film.
You know, I was watching the Niner game, and I saw McGlinchey's feet were so great on
the
that.
all-22.
I don't even know how to get that all-22.
Well, it's basically I do go back and watch every A's
game.
I can go back and watch every single game. I can watch the alt. It takes a few days, but the all-22 is the camera from the end zone. So you can do that. Now you got to pay for it, but you can do that.
You know, I watch the games back for the A's because I watch the RPMs on every pit breaking ball they throw.
Every one. When
I count them.
When Waldy's on the mound. By the way, speaking of that, so whenever you'll now know the joke when we say we went back and watched it frame by frame. Whenever I see Kyle Muller and 3 2/3, a couple strikeouts, I get excited. You give me 6-7, you give me determined. There's some kids on this team that I think you got to really, there's something here. There is definitely, they came out with our top 30 prospects. Normally, I could care less, right? Prospects are suspects until you can come up and help us win. What does it matter? Our fascination with prospects in baseball is crazy because the odds are they won't be great players. I mean, if we're going to be a data-driven sport, there's certain things that we allow the data not to really, we're all about data on certain things, but then we let the other data just slide by and act like it's not there, right? Because, all right, let me give you your top 10, according to MLB.com, A's prospects. Tyler Soderstrom, number 1.
Okay, no brainer.
Ken Waldichuk, number 2. Number 3, Zach Geloff. Number 4, Mason Miller. Number 5, Kyle Muller. Number 6, we call him Esty Ruiz. Number 7, playing for Team Columbia, Jordan Diaz. Number 8, Daniel Susak. And number 9, who also went yesterday, Freddie Tarnock, he went 2 2 2/3, 1 earned run. He's going to start games for the A's this year, coming over from the Braves. And number 10, to the Dave Letterman top 10, is Max Muncy 2.0. Not the original Max Muncy, who couldn't hit for the A's, then all of a sudden went to the Dodgers and mysteriously, he changed his swing. And now hits bombs, and then he's back to not hitting bombs. But Max Muncy 2.0. Now, out of those 10 players, reality is those 10 guys, the majority of them will not have long careers in Major League Baseball. The odds are not one will be a Hall of Famer. The odds get a little bit better that you could potentially have an all-star, but that's still not great. If you look at the data, if you look at the odds, the majority of these guys won't have, and you could do this for all 30 teams. Guys could play in the big leagues. I mean, let's just go over who we just used to have. Remember when we had A.J. Puck at the top up there?
Jesus Luzardo.
I mean,
Sean Murphy.
Are they getting the bust ready? Canton, Ohio. Are they getting the plaques ready in Cooperstown for A.J. Puck?
No.
Are they getting one ready for any of the guys that we used to have?
If you just want to look, the guys would be Puck, Luzardo, Murph, Matt Chapman, Matt Olson.
And once again, Matt, the only guy that's going to get votes out of any of those guys will be Olson.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm trying.
Olson will actually get I used to say this, but I didn't want to get crazy on it because I didn't think they were going to be leaving when they did. That kind of threw me for a loop. It's always a possibility. I thought they went faster than they would, but it is what it is. I always thought Matt Chapman struggles to make contact. If I'm anybody, I'm going to sign Matt Olson. That's the guy I wanted to sign. I wanted him long-term. Great defensively, hits bombs. His game will play for a long, long time. And you know where the rubber's going to meet the road for Matt Chapman? It's this year. This is the year you turn down 150 from the A's. He's a free agent after this season. So this is, at his age, if he is ever going to cash in, this would be the year. So he's got to have a big year to get something. But if he has another, hit 240, 20 home runs, plays good defense, he's not getting a mega deal.
So I went back. I agree. I went back and looked at the 2017 top 10.
Well, you got a Hall of Fame right at the top. I can see the top. I see one name. If this doesn't tell you, the A's made a major deal based off this guy. He soon will be getting the call from Cooperstown because he will be a Hall of Famer someday. You guys all couldn't wait for him. You love talking about him. Oh, this kid is going to be so special. He's going to be hell on wheels. Please read this future Hall of Famer's name.
The shortstop, Franklin Barreto.
Remember Franklin Barreto? How great Franklin Barreto was?
Pretty sure he's an Astro now, right? Wasn't he an Astro at some point?
They did the Donaldson deal just because they threw Franklin Barreto in there. Great player. What a great player.
All right, so here you go. Here's the top 10.
Give me this top 10. My God.
This is 2017.
So is this going to prove my data correct? That the majority of these guys, we sit here and go, ooh, ah. The majority of them won't even have great careers.
So I did this the year before the team started.
No one's going to be a Hall of Famer. I will bet. I will bet, like I said, it's very rare one will even be an all-star, let alone have a really good career.
So I did this the year before the A's were back in the postseason in 2018. Franklin Barreto, A.J. Puck, which is not even a year after he was drafted. Matt Chapman.
There's your all-star.
Jarrell Cotton.
Oh.
Frankie Montas, who's not even going to pitch this year for the Yankees, most likely.
Whoa. Don't throw him under the – they say maybe back. Have some faith. That's our guy, Frankie.
Towards the end of the year.
I love Frank. Frankie Montas is a good dude. I'm a big Frankie Montas fan. We're rooting for you, Frankie.
Remember Grant Holmes who came over in the Reddick deal?
Oh, my God, great hair.
Isn't he still with the team? I think he might be with
Vegas.
I have no
clue.
Maybe not. Chad Pinder, now
There's
red.
no way he wasn't at spring. We didn't see him at spring training.
Then maybe
And
he
you'd
isn't.
see that hair at spring training.
Chad Pinder, now Reds fame.
Chi, who signed a minor league deal.
This is when he was a shortstop, according to Baseball
Minor
America.
league deal.
Right-handed pitcher Daniel Gossett.
I always liked him. He's a Clemson guy, right?
And he had Tommy John. I think he had
all kinds of stuff. He was a nice young man.
Remember the kid out of Florida, Richie Martin?
Richie Martin, yes. I remember talking to his mother when he was drafted by us and he took batting practice at the field. I had a great conversation with his mother.
And then number 10 was Bruce Maxwell, who did debut with the A's.
All right, let's go over that again. I said top 10, and I don't even know how I got on this because this is not how I wanted to start the show.
Well, we're talking about the A's top 10 prospects this year.
Oh, yeah, the list came out. But here you go. For the value, the majority of them will not have long careers. No one's going to be a Hall of Famer. You might get an all-star, and my data proves right. Matt Chapman is the only guy to make an all-star team, and a lot of these guys are out of baseball now. That's just 2017. And you can do that literally for every team. Every team.
I almost forgot Chapman was an all-star.
Two-time all-star, right?
One. It was the year when he did the home run derby.
Yeah,
2019. Yeah, I thought he was just a home run derby guy, but I forgot he was an all-star that year. So, yeah, you're right. There was one. This is the top 10 from 6 years ago, year for the A's went back in contention.
Just 6 years.
Yeah. Barreto, Puck, Chapman, Cotton, Montas, Grant Holmes, Chad Pinder, Gossett, Martin, Maxwell. None of these guys are with the A's anymore.
Remember Big Rob, our buddy Big Rob, who works for the A's? We were at that brewery in Mesa and swore to me Barreto was going to be a great player. And I kept going, no, he's not.
You know, I'm curious on where.
And I don't want to be a hater, right? Like it's like you become this hater. Like I want all these guys to be stars. And I mean, why, as a fan, why wouldn't you want them to be stars? I just know the data. The data says if we're going to be a data-driven league and a data-driven organization, what does the data say?
What team is Franklin Barreto on now?
Well, he's not on the A's,
That's
right?
correct. Yep.
So that gives me 29 choices.
I'll make it easy. He's not in the NL. He's not in the AL West anymore. He's not with the Astros or Angels.
So he's out of the West.
He's out of the West. He's on the East Coast.
Can you at least give me a little more?
East Coast.
Okay, a little more.
Close to the Atlantic Ocean.
On the Atlantic Ocean?
No.
How well do you know your geography?
Washington, D.C.
Because if I'm right,
D.C. is not on the Atlantic Ocean.
If I'm right on the Atlantic Ocean, because taking the Uber from the hotel, the Trop is pretty close to the Atlantic Ocean.
D.C. is not on the Atlantic Ocean.
No, it's not. It'd be the Potomac. No, is that
the Potomac River? Yes.
Yeah. Which is saltwater, though.
Yeah. It's the Nationals.
Because sharks swim up into the Potomac.
Really?
Yeah.
You
know where I found that out?
You know more about sharks than anybody else.
You know where I found that out? When I was at George Washington's crib. Have you ever been to George Washington's crib, Mount Vernon?
I have not.
In Virginia? Wow. Incredible. Martha Washington. So George Washington's wife was rich. If you ever get a chance, go to Mount Vernon in Virginia. It's his spread is this house. He had this massive property. It's gorgeous. Virginia's gorgeous. And you go out the back and it's massive hill that goes down to the Potomac. He had this dock and it overlooks the Potomac. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. Yes, sharks go into the Potomac River.
Two things real quick. I've been to Arlington though. Arlington is I recommend
that
Arlington
is a very
National Cemetery.
moving. I didn't realize JFK was buried there. And I was like, wow.
My mother's trying to get my grandfather into
the tomb of the unknown soldier. You got to see that.
Yeah, it was really
know your history, folks.
Speaking of sharks, the San Jose Sharks. There's an article on The Athletic. Big fans of Formula One.
Of that show.
And the show. Yep. And
I
the races.
I had people reach out to me after the show yesterday going, hey, I totally agree. Yeah. Stop giving me fluff and give me hardcore. Give me the real. That's what modern day sports fans want. Modern day sports fans want have a crew. Follow us around. Follow the team around. Follow the draft. Follow the winter meetings. Follow it. We want to see it. We want to see how it works. We want to be on the inside. That's what we love. So just some highlights of yesterday. I mean, Connor Capel, I've been bullish on this guy. I've been saying it. I got to see him in my outfield. I like him as a player. I like the player. Speaking of Greg Papa, Connor Capel can hit. Connor Capel, I don't have it in front of me. He got a shot in St. Louis. I think it was like 9 games.
It wasn't many yet because
it's like 9 games, like 16, 17 at bats. Fact check me, CNN.
Connor Capel in 2022 played in 9 games with the Cardinals. He hit 176.
Like 16 or 17 at bats.
17 at bats with 1 home run.
Don't doubt my Connor Capel knowledge at the University of Texas. Hook him.
Who's his godfather? Do you know this?
That would be Roger Clemens. Have you ever heard of him?
Look at you knowing a lot about Connor Capel.
Oh, I've been stumping you. Every day he comes in with his trivia, I've been smoking his trivia. I've been owning your. I own your Dodger trivia. I own your Marlins trivia. Don't go trivia with me.
What was one? Oh, I got you with the Dodger Rookies of the Year. Let's see if Johnny knows.
No, I got 3 of them.
Yeah, this guy named 2 of the 4 infielders for the Dodgers $1 million infield.
Yeah, this guy. He couldn't come up with Bill Russell and Ron Say.
Hey, I got 1/2 of the infield.
That's terrible. Yeah, Garvey, and you thought Davey Lopes was a shortstop.
Yeah.
He was the second baseman.
There's a Garvey trivia question for Johnny too, but don't
yes.
give that away.
And by the way, who got the Garvey trivia question?
You did.
Yes, thank you. But yeah, Connor Capel. It's just a reality that if you're in certain organizations, it's like Ryan Noda. If you're in certain organizations, you get blocked. And Connor Capel was in arguably top 3 run organizations. That would be actually an interesting topic. Who are the best run organizations?
St. Louis is up there.
St. Louis has got to be up there.
I mean, just think about this. Their outfield right now. They have Tyler O'Neill. They traded Harrison Bader, but their outfield is always Lars Nootbaar, who's playing for Team Japan.
Yeah.
And they have one. Why am I blanking on it? But anyway, they always have good outfielders. So of course Connor Capel is blocked. But if you're looking at best run organizations, I'd say St. Louis.
Connor Capel.
Got to put the Dodgers up there.
Connor Capel's going to get ABs for the A's. I'm excited about him. Puts the ball in play. He's got a little more of a flatter swing. Barrel stays through the zone. Makes contact. All right, coming up next, our spring training previews continue. We're talking about the Los Angeles Dodgers because yesterday, Padres were talking big. They've slayed the Dragon. Well, how does the Dragon feel about that? We'll find out next right here on A's Cast Live.
It's that time of the year. Single game tickets are now on sale for the 2023 season. Don't miss out on securing your tickets for some of the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Visit athletics.com/tickets to get yours now. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Johnny Gomes was on A's Cast Live and discussed why the A's team from 2012 was so special.
Well, unfortunately, it's probably one of the best seasons that's going to get lost, right? And when I say that, it also impacts the 2 World Series that I won. And this whole thing is about finishing the season with a win. But my gosh, I mean, the one thing that sticks out to me really is getting eliminated in Game 5 by Detroit. And the Detroit Tigers tipped their hats to us. They literally, Miguel Cabrera, Verlander, Leland were just like, that was unbelievable. 162 games. We were in first place for 4 innings. Just so happened to be game 162 from the 6th inning when Josh Hamilton dropped that ball. We took the lead, technically first place, boom, right there. But I mean, man, look at the guys that team generated. Here comes Stephen Vogt. Here comes Reddick. Here comes Moss. Right? Coco Crisp being back. Here comes Cespedes, right? There were so many pieces there. Brandon Inge found a little piece of gas in there. Steven Drew came over and was a vet. Donaldson, Travis Blackley, McCarthy, Bart Colon. You know, he got pop tested. If we would have had him, I think we would have got to the next one, tell you the truth.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
This is Chris Townsend, and if you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see my friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Chevron with Techron has unbeatable engine cleaning power, and it gives you unbeatable mileage for all kinds of unbeatable destinations, like time in the sun at the beach, or time in the sun riding roller coasters, or a day in the sun hiking mountains. Well, probably just one mountain would be enough for a day, but hiking a mountain is still an unbeatable choice for how to spend time. Download the Chevron app now to get unbeatable mileage at locations near you.
This is Chris Townsend for my favorite golf course in the Bay Area, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Tucked in the beautiful hills of San Jose, Cinnabar Hills offers the finest 27 holes of championship golf in Silicon Valley. Come see the amazing new renovated clubhouse and restaurant, plus patio dining with the most breathtaking views. Cinnabar Hills is far more than a golf course, one of the premier places in the Bay Area to host weddings and any type of events. There's no golf experience like Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Go to CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
If you're looking for the latest green and gold gear for the 2023 season, then look no further than athletics.com/shop for your officially licensed gear. That's athletics.com/shop.
Innovation is at the core of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students preserve genetic information from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and the entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Streaming from the East Bay, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Yeah, let's get Tim in here and talk a little Dodger baseball as we're previewing the NL West. And this is going to be it for us in the NL West. Then we're going to move on to the Central. Tim, great to have you on again. How are you?
Great. Thanks, Chris. Happy to be here.
Well, I got to tell you, we did the Padres yesterday, and it was like, wow, the confidence. I mean, people forget. Dodgers won 111 games. Dodgers have been to the playoffs 10 straight years. They've won the National League West 9 out of those 10. They've won 104 games 4 out of the last 5 years. San Diego has basically a good 2 weeks, and they're acting like they've slayed the dragon. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. The Dodgers are still the Dodgers last time I checked, right?
They're still the Dodgers, and they still have 162 games to play. The one thing is that you're going to see fewer games against each other now because of the way the division is, right? So there's only going to be 13 games between the Dodgers and the Padres, not 19 like there were before, thanks to the new schedule. But you know what? I think it's great in a way that, they've improved quite a bit. I think it's great that they're going to be competitive. I think the Dodgers went 14-5 against them in the regular season last year, and they just won a couple of games when it really counted at the end, and that was disappointing, certainly for the Dodgers, to be gone in the division series. But as far as the regular season, they don't throw you a parade if you win the regular season. You got to win the World Series to get a parade, and that's what the Dodgers' aim is every single year, is to win a World Series.
How tough was it for the Dodgers when Gavin Lux went down, knowing what the expectations were for him in the middle of the infield there for Dodger Blue?
Really tough, because, they're going to miss his bat this year. He's a good offensive player. He can run the bases really well. He was coming into his own as a shortstop and started short for the Dodgers, right? I mean, what kid wouldn't want to do that? growing up playing baseball. Hey, I'd love to be the starting shortstop for the Dodgers. Well, Gavin Lux was about to live his dream, and it's going to take him a little longer to recover now. He had surgery 2 days ago. Everything came out of it okay, as far as we understand. But in the meantime, Miguel Rojas is going to be the guy that is going to take over the everyday duties at shortstop. So we'll get used to seeing Miguel Rojas there. Chris Taylor will back up. But I would suspect that the Dodgers would be on the hunt for somebody in the trade market, free agent market, trade market, whatever market. They're constantly, like every other team, looking to get better. So just because this is the way it starts doesn't mean that's the way it's going to finish.
You know, the thing about when you look at the Dodgers last year, their run differential was just so much better than anybody else. You know, I understand it didn't end the way they wanted to, but you know, when you're Dave Roberts and you're going into the season, you still got to remember you got a lot of great players, and he had a really good year. How much have they talked about that, or maybe even having like a new chip on their shoulder going into this year?
That's a good question, Chris, because they have a chip on their shoulder. If a team that just won 111 games can have one, they've got one, and they really have thought about things to a man. They're using it as motivation for this year, because not only do they have to get through the regular season, but they've got to get into the postseason and do well there. That's the name of the game. That's all that the folks care about here in LA is winning in the postseason. So again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a cliche. You've heard it a million times, but it doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what happens in April, May, and June. It's what happens in October. And so that's their goal. That's where they're trying to get to. And if the Padres are in the way, then so be it. But if the Padres have a great year, then they have a great year. It's going to be fun in Southern California either way.
You know, Mookie Betts is truly one of the primetime guys that we have in our game. And when someone always plays on the East Coast, and it's just, you know, the way it works, we're always in batting practice when they're playing at 4:00. So you only get to see guys so much. Now that you've gotten to see him over the years, just talk about what an overall special talent he is.
I've seen Mookie grow quite a bit. I was with him in Boston for 3 years, missed him in 2019 when he was still with Boston and I was with the Dodgers. And then what ended up happening was he comes over here, and he's been absolutely exceptional in terms of everything he's done on the field, off the field. We're looking forward to seeing him play in the WBC. But I've watched him grow as a player and a person, from a young player who used to look up to the veterans, and now he's that veteran that the young players look up to. And why not? He's a great example. He's a table setter. He's going to lead off. There's been some talk that they might move him down in the order to number 2, maybe, but I mean, the guy scores a ton of runs. Why would you want to move him out of that spot? He provides instant offense. He has only 2 hits this spring. Both of them are home runs, leadoff home runs. So, watching him play, not only offensively but defensively, I don't think there's a better player with base running instincts better than Mookie Betts. Plus, we're going to see him play a lot of second base this year. That's the position he came up as. I think he's going to come in and play second base quite a bit. I think you'll see him in the WBC playing second base also. So with Gavin Lux being out, that opens up a hole for an outfielder because you've got an infielder and Chris Taylor moving in to play short. I think Mookie Betts is going to come in to play second, ease some of that pressure too.
And if you need a bowling partner, he's your guy.
Well, not if you're betting, because he'll take all your money.
You know, that's the thing that's interesting about LA this year is that there's just different. It's going to be different. Like Justin Turner, who was a great leader inside that clubhouse, is now gone. He's in Boston. JD Martinez comes in, going to be a full-time DH, to where the Dodgers utilize the DH to get a lot of different guys rest and kind of have days off and just hit. I mean, they're still going to be really good. But just talk about how there's just going to be, as you've kind of alluded to, there's going to be a lot of different moving parts.
Yeah, there always have been in the Dodger lineup. They used to be where, Max Muncy could play either first, second, or third on any given night. Chris Taylor could play second, short, right field, or center field, left field. So you've got to be very versatile to be on this roster in most cases. And with JD Martinez being the DH, I asked one of the coaches the other day on one of the backfields, I said, did he even bring a glove here to Arizona? And they said, I think he did. But he brought a lot of batting gloves. I know that. So, he's in the lineup today against the A's. Looking forward to seeing him get that swing going again. And when you look at JD Martinez, and he was another guy I was with in Boston. You really appreciate when he starts hitting that gap double to right center. He's got that opposite field power, and that's when you know he's going really well. He does have, gap to gap power. He can hit it out of the ballpark, but also he's a good doubles guy, and that's really what the Dodgers are looking for, is just to have him drive in some runs.
Well, the Dodgers obviously are one of the model franchises when you look at doing it with your farm system and having that talent. Is this a year where they're going to need some of that talent to come up and produce at the big league level?
I think so. You'll see some today. Ryan Pepio will pitch today. Michael Grove pitched last night. Got Andre Jackson waiting in the wings. He came up, made his major league debut last year. So they've got some depth in the pitching department. In the field, a player named Michael Bush is getting closer to making an impact. Highly touted prospect, can really swing, and somebody who's on the travel roster today, and we'll get to see him a lot, I think, in the next week or so at least, is Diego Cartaya, who is certainly not a finished product by any means. He's still a very young kid, but he's the Dodgers' #1 prospect at catcher. And today we'll probably see him swing the bat a little bit. Miguel Vargas, another homegrown guy, he'll be back in the lineup today at second base. And the Dodgers are going to let him swing the bat today. He's had a hairline fracture in his right pinky finger. He's been playing defense in Cactus League games, but they sent him to the plate to not swing. He just went up there to track pitches, and he walked 4 times.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And the opposition knew he wasn't swinging. So that's baseball. But he's going to swing the bat. He's going to bat second today, and I wouldn't be surprised if he swung at the first pitch today. He's been dying to let go.
That is unbelievable. I saw that on Twitter. I could not believe that. That is actually really sad. Walker Buehler is truly one of the special talents. It's unfortunate, a second Tommy John surgery. I mean, obviously you're not going to want to rush him whatsoever. Is there any talk that you could maybe see him at the end of the season, or is this like take the year, get as healthy as possible, and we'll see you in 2024?
I think we're going to see him this year. I do. He's been in uniform at Camelback Ranch. He's throwing again already, not pitching, but playing catch at 60 feet. He's done that, I think, 3 times right now. I talked to him the other day, and he said he was feeling great. I don't think he's going to rush things. I don't think the team will rush him at all, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him by September. August, maybe. But probably September. I wouldn't be surprised if he's back and ready to go.
And then you look at Clayton Kershaw. Great to see him back. It's just so important in our game to really still have some guys stay with the whole organization their whole career. And, he is the modern Dodger that you think about Dodger baseball. You think Clayton Kershaw. Just how important it is to have him still around when we have so much player movement.
There's stability there. And the young players see him and they see a future Hall of Famer and they go, I want to be around that guy. I want some of that to rub off on me. And so he's following around. Like yesterday, he pitched a bullpen over at the complex and he draws a crowd, right? I mean, I was in the crowd and a lot of people were in the crowd watching him throw a bullpen. He hasn't thrown in a Cactus League game yet, but I think that's going to change maybe as soon as tomorrow against the Angels. I think he could go tomorrow, maybe Saturday against the Cubs, but I'm thinking tomorrow. But just to watch him, the way he goes about his work ethic, young players really learn from him. They like being around him. I mean, heck, the older players like being around him because, I mean, this guy's done it all. And all you can do is learn from him.
Let's end on this. Your son, Matt, does play-by-play for the Las Vegas Aviators for us. Just how proud are you of him and just exciting times to be at that level?
I couldn't be more proud. I mean, today he's doing 4 college basketball games in the Big West tournament for ESPN, and then he'll get back doing baseball here soon. But he's thrilled. I'm thrilled for him. I just saw Johnny Doskow. I've known Johnny since I was working in Vegas. That's how old Johnny is. I know he's coming up. But Johnny got to know him, and first thing Ken Korak said to me today was, hey, I saw your son at Big League Weekend. Those are the kind of little things that make me feel really good about what Matt's doing. And I know that, when he's been on in the past to talk about the Aviators, he loves doing that. And, it's just the growth in the business. It's not an easy business, as we all know. but he's at a good level right now, and I'm really proud of him. I think he's getting ready to do some good things.
Well, we always appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck with Dodger Blue this year. We'll be checking in with you later during the season, and have a great call today.
Yeah, anytime. I'm happy to do it. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Dodger Blue. You know they won 111 games last year, right?
Yeah, they were pretty good. And
wait, you know what? I'm just going to – it was Hembo, and the reason why –
Oh, no. I have the audio. I have the video of both of them. Jesse Agler, if you want to play him, and then we can play Hembo.
Okay, you know what? I'll prepare for this. Okay, so yesterday, I mean, let's just get ready for, as a baseball fan, we're baseball fans, right? Obviously A's fans, but here on this show, we do all baseball, right? That's the beauty of A's Cast Live. We're like literally the only show, especially in the Bay Area, that talks baseball, let alone just A's baseball. We talk Giants baseball. We talk Major League Baseball. We are the only show. It's sad, but we're the only show in the Bay Area that's covering every team. We're going to go to every camp. This was something that used to happen all the time. Now it's just, we're going to hammer the same topics of Warriors. And it's the draft and Niners. I mean, we're going to cut. If you're a baseball fan, whether you're an A's fan or not, this is where you come. How much Major League Baseball we talk. We're the only show at the winter meetings. We're the only show that goes to spring training anymore. This is where you come for baseball. So yesterday, Jesse Agler of the San Diego Padres. Is my question in there?
Yes.
All right. Jesse, in my opinion, I'm just going to give you my opinion. I think what the Padres did last year was cool. It was good for baseball. But I'm not going to sit here and say that the Padres have slayed the dragon when technically they have won nothing but 2 playoff series. They haven't sustained anything long term. They haven't had any kind of run. The Padres have only won 5 divisions in their franchise history. The last division title the Padres won, I want to say Bruce Bochy was still the manager, right? 07 or 06?
Sounds right, yeah.
Right? So what dragon have you slayed? And I say this, do I have time?
See, plenty of time.
All right, so I say this out of respect to our friends with the Houston Astros. I would not go out and say, if, like, let's say we beat the Astros in a playoff series, you would not hear me after that in the offseason going, we slayed those you-know-whats. Hey, Astros, stick it. Because we won a playoff series and they've been kicking our ass for years. You think I would have the nerve to come on here and say that the curse is broken? We've slayed the Astros. No, we beat them in a playoff series. Anybody can beat anybody in a playoff series. It's a tournament, right? Anything can happen.
We had the chance in 2020 and the Astros.
Do you think anybody has slayed the Houston Astros?
No.
No.
Especially not in the AL.
Have the Astros won the World Series? Okay, the Astros have been to the ALCS 6 straight years.
So no one in the AL slayed them.
Well, somebody has. They haven't won it every year. They've only won it 2 out of the 6 years. But is you going to say anybody slayed the Astros?
No.
That's ignorant, right? That would just, you'd be like, you're an idiot. Like, I would not have any nerve to say that, we got the Astros number now. Seriously, right?
I'm just laughing because it's so funny because how good Houston's been.
So instead of using the Dodger Padre argument, I'm using our argument against the Astros. Like, how good the Astros? Oh, we own Altuve and Bregman now. Dusty Baker's staying up at night worrying about it. You think Dusty Baker's staying up at night worrying about the Mariners?
No, it's funny because remember when we played them when they were the Astros? I remember that when they were they were in the NL Central, then they joined the AL West.
2014, baby.
The A's owned them.
13, 14.
A's owned them, and then what happened since? The Astros slayed the dragon of the A's in the AL West.
It's ridiculous. But okay, so I don't know. I'm going to ask Jesse Agler the question, like, hey, great, you beat them in the playoffs last year, but they've still been whooping you for years. Have you slayed the dragon? This is literally how everybody in San Diego feels. Everybody is They still haven't slayed the dragon yet. I know they won a playoff series, and we just did the Diamondbacks yesterday. I'm kind of bullish on the Diamondbacks. We love Torey Lovello. I think they got a lot of speed and a lot of athleticism. I think they're going to be better than people think. But just talk about that, the rivalry between the Padres and the Dodgers. The Padres still need to win a division. That, to me, more will be slaying the dragon than just one playoff series.
I actually disagree, and for a couple of reasons. I think one, like last year really did feel like slaying the dragon because it sort of was like, all right, you went 5-14 against them in the regular year, but so what? The Dodgers walked away, with nothing while the Padres moved on to the National League Championship Series. Now, you add to that the fact that you get rid of 2 series this year with the new schedule. So all of a sudden, it's not 19 games where it felt like every one, it's just a different feel. They matter that much less mathematically. Like the Dodger games matter less now than they did in the last 20 years. And then the next thing is on top of all of that, the playoff format, and this extra spot. And I know having the bye would be nice, by winning the division. But again, I go back to what I said earlier about the goal is to win the World Series. Whether you win the wild card or the National League West, I don't know that it matters. If you go on to win the World Series, which is what they care about, which is what they're trying to do, I don't think they're going to look back and be like, well, we didn't win the division. So I really feel like it's a goal. Don't get me wrong. And everybody would be thrilled if they won the division. And it would definitely be a big deal. There will be a pen and hung, if they win the National League West in 2023. I don't want to, discount that in any way. But, if they win the division and go out of the NLCS, they would much prefer to be a wild card that goes to the World Series. So I think it, in a weird way, it's almost bigger than the Dodgers now for the Padres. That was kind of the dragon. That was kind of the thing that they were chasing, these last few years. And now it again, in part because of the playoff format, in part because of the schedule, and in part because of what happened in the postseason last year, to me at least, and look, we'll see once the season gets going, but to me at least, it kind of feels like it's almost secondary now.
What did you notice about that? Now that I'm seeing that for the first time, what are you noticing about that?
That they don't even. It's all about. Well, for me, it's just, they don't even care about the Dodgers. It seems like it's all about winning the World Series.
What did you notice about the video?
Oh,
did you see the look on my face?
Oh yeah, you're just kind of deadpan. You just kind of.
I was like, okay. I get it. I hear you. Because my brother, my friends from San Diego, they all feel this way. And I'm like, okay. The Dodgers last year, run differential was plus 334. The Padres was plus 45.
Oh, Hembo addresses this too.
Do the math. That's a difference of 289.
That any good?
289. I mean, it's like what, you just listen to that. You'd think the Padres, if you just listen to that, if you saw that yesterday or you listened to that today, you'd think the Padres have won something. Most teams who win the World Series win their division.
A lot of the times. There's been a few wild card teams won.
Been a few. But the data, for a data-driven business, data says you win the division, more chance of winning the World Series. Now it doesn't matter. It's just World Series. Never won. The franchise has been in 2 World Series and only won 1 World Series game. Haven't won a division title since Bruce Bochy. And because they go out and spend like drunken sailors, now they're big. They're walking around. I mean, that's a dangerous thing. That is a really dangerous thing to walk around like you're the heavyweight champ and you've never won anything. Right? In sports, you walk around like you're the heavyweight champion and you've never knocked anybody out. You've won fights, but you've never knocked anybody out. I mean, that is a dangerous, dangerous game. You know what? I'm going to see we're honoring Steve Vucinich Saturday in Arizona, retirement party number 30 for him. And I'm emceeing it. So I'm flying back down to Arizona for the 3rd time, by the way, going to the Valley of the Sun again.
3 straight months.
And I'm going to see Bob Melvin. Bob Melvin's going to be there. I'm going to be like, hey, man, is this what it's like in your camp? You guys are like putting on the championship belt and you've never won anything. You guys are already planning the parade. there in the gas lamp in downtown San Diego, and you've won nothing. I mean, it's kind of like, wow. It's like a team signs a bunch of people, got some of that, and all of a sudden they're walking around training camp talking about we're going to win the Super Bowl. Can you imagine if this was covered like football, how many people would be like, slow your ass down, you haven't won anything? Football is a different animal. Football people, if you haven't won it and you haven't proved it yet, keep it shut. Padres are a different animal. They're walking around like they're King Kong, and they haven't beaten Godzilla yet. Now,
good movie.
Flip side, right after that, Paul Hembekides is the top researcher for ESPN. He does all the research for Monday Night Football. He does all the research for Sunday Night Football. He's on television on their morning show, Get Up, which is super early out here.
And he wrote a book. Well, helped write a book.
But he's a big deal at ESPN. And we're lucky to have we've somehow established a relationship. He pops on every week, Buster Olney's podcast. But he's their top research guy. So he's constantly researching, and he's now he's gone from being just the research guy to now being a TV personality because he's really good on air. He does the podcast with Mike Greenberg. He's all over the place. We're lucky. We are lucky to have him. He's really brilliant. He comes on just after what you just saw yesterday. After Jesse Agler's telling me, I disagree. We've slayed the dragon. This is what Paul Hembekides has to say about the Padres slaying the dragon. That is the team we are covering today, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
The Dodgers are not going to win the National League West this year. And the Dodgers are going to, once again, and they're going to do so by at least 10 games. 10! The Dodgers are still considerably better than the San Diego Padres. Anything can happen in the playoffs, and that was evidenced last year in the playoffs, right? Like, that's a whole different – like, the tournament is one thing. I'm talking about 162 games right here, okay? Look at their run differentials last year. I don't have the standings in front of me. But last year, the Dodgers were 290 runs better than the Padres were. You don't make up – that's not an exaggeration. It is a statement of fact. You don't make up 290 runs by assembling a constellation of a few stars. For all of the stars, for all the star power, and for all the celebrity, and for all the win probability swings that Juan Soto and Fernando Tatis and Xander Bogaerts and Manny Machado are going to provide, the Dodgers over 162 are more than going to make up for with their ruthless process and player development. The Dodgers have something like half a dozen top 100 prospects that are going to cheaply contribute to the big league club this year. The Padres don't have any of those guys. The Padres have already emptied the clip. The Dodgers have many bullets left in their chamber, and they're coming from a position of strength, having destroyed this division last year during the regular season. Historically great. Now, again, the playoffs are a different animal, and the Padres are uniquely equipped to win playoff series because of that constellation of stars that they have assembled, and that does often win playoff series. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The Dodgers are going to win the National League West this year, and they're going to do so by at least 10 games again.
I don't disagree about the Dodgers winning the division. I mean, you look at the guys they've lost, and Hembo still thinks 10 games. Here's some of the guys they've lost. Bo Turners, Trey and Justin. Tyler Anderson, who was good for them, now an Angel. Belly's gone. Andrew Heaney's gone. Joey Gallo's gone. Trevor Bauer, who they gave that huge deal to, who never really pitched for them.
Your list is terrible.
Of guys that those are.
No one cares that Joey Gallo's gone. Trevor Bauer didn't even play.
I'm just giving guys that Gallo was the guy that.
That's why I'm saying your list stinks. That's what is that? The guy that matters is Trey Turner
and
Tyler Anderson.
Justin Turner doesn't count.
No, Justin Turner is not even close to the player he used to be. Now his leadership, yes. You're bringing Joey Gallo.
I'm just naming guys. They traded. Did they trade for him at the deadline? Yes or no?
Who cares? He's nobody. Who's Joey Gallo?
Well, I'm just saying it's the guy they went out and thought that
You're giving me a bogus list. Trevor Bauer. How many innings did Trevor Bauer? They won 111 games last year. How many games did he pitch?
None.
So how's he significant?
I'm just naming guys they got.
I know you're just naming guys. You're just naming guys. The Dodgers. Seriously. Justin Turner, you don't think they can replace Justin Turner? What was his WAR? We can't replace him with a replacement player according to your data.
It's going to be Muncy. I think third base.
Tell me, can we replace his WAR?
2.0.
Can we replace a 2.0 WAR?
Yeah, what was Muncy? What Muncy's was last year?
Muncy stinks now.
2.7.
So I can't replace Turner. That's what he's talking about. That's exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah, they got Vargas and these guys.
What's Bellinger? You put Bellinger on there? Tell me what Bellinger did last year. They won 111 games. Tell me the great contribution Bellinger had. I'm not a Dodger fan, by the way. I hate the Dodgers. Somehow I'm sticking up for the Dodgers. But I got to keep it real. 100, as the kids say. Do the kids still say that?
Yeah, 1.2.
I can't replace a 1.2 WAR.
I mean, I'm just naming guys that.
I know what you're doing, but I think you're skewing it.
He had 500 at-bats last year. He was an everyday player.
And he stunk.
He did. I'm not saying he was great.
Well, you're saying the guys they lost. When you put out a list that says guys lost, you're saying they lost these guys. That's not losing somebody. It's like you could show up and have a 1.2 WAR.
That's a stretch. Do you see who they're replacing in the outlet?
He just talking about the Vargas kid has had how many at-bats didn't even swing, and he's got 4 walks.
Here's the guys they replaced. They on paper could replace.
Give me the guys they're bringing in.
Here's some of the guys they brought
versus
in.
This bogus list.
JD Martinez
can swing it.
Miguel Rojas.
He's gonna be a pivotal part now at shortstop. By the way, he left the game early this year. A calf.
Yeah, I know it was an injury. I can't remember what it was. Jason Hayward, can he still play? No. I think they brought Jimmy Nelson back again. Alex Reyes, a former flamethrower reliever. David Peralta, who's probably going to play. For them. Noah Syndergaard.
Gonna play.
And there was and Trace Thompson's going to be one of their outfielders.
Well, the big thing for the Dodgers, since we're previewing the Dodgers today, the big thing is going to be they're going to rely on some of they've had these guys that they say are so great in the minor league system. We're now going to see.
Yeah, like Tim mentioned today, Ryan Pepiot starting. He's one of the pitchers they've been wanting. Bobby Miller's another guy. Bush is another guy, position player. Now, here's the guys they have on the injured list to start the year. Walker Buehler, he's pretty good.
We discussed that.
Gavin Lux.
Yeah, that's the biggie.
Blake Trinan.
But you know what?
Trinan again.
Lux, we don't know how good he is. They've been telling us how good he is. Gavin Lux hasn't done anything that makes you go, wow.
Yeah, they just never wanted to trade him.
Right? He's never done anything. Blake Trinan, once again, Blake Trinan was hurt all last year. They won 111 games.
Yeah. He pitched a little bit, but yeah, he was hurt most 3/4 of the year, I would say.
111 games. So everything you throw out, they won 111 games last year. They had a plus. Do I need to go over this again? They had a plus 334. You think they had a plus 334 because of Joey Gallo, Justin Turner, and Cody Bellinger? Yes or no?
2 of those guys, I would say, contributed, yes.
Wow. You know what?
They played every day.
You're that guy that's just trying to trying to act like your argument is good.
I'm not.
Plus 334 had nothing to do with Cody Bellinger and Joey Gallo. Turner, If Turner was such an important piece when they brought him back, they got the money.
Yeah, well, I mean, they brought in Martinez. He's like the same age.
I mean, wouldn't they brought Justin Turner? And by the way, Justin Turner, just to look him up,
he's like 30.
Justin Turner literally could not hit at the beginning of the year. He got somewhat respectable in the second half, but his bat speed was exposed. I mean, 13 home runs from your third baseman who stinks defensively. Stinks.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
He drove in 81 runs.
You don't care about RBIs.
We'll take that away from your run differential. That's not helping. Bellinger was off when he still drove in 60 runs somehow.
Because they got a ton of guys on base.
Well, it helps when you have Freeman and Betts hitting in front of you.
I'm saying. Those names mean nothing to me. Will the Dodgers win the West this year?
I prefaced it by saying yes, they would. Before we even started talking about it, I said they would.
So Cody Bellinger, Joey Gallo. I mean, if anybody they hurt is Walker Buehler.
I mean, here's what Lux did last year. In 420 bats, he hit 276, 6 home runs and 42 runs. I mean, they can replace that.
They can't. They've got money, they've got talent, they've got the wherewithal. I think it's absolutely crazy that people in San Diego. Well, I think your list is crazy, and I think people in San Diego are crazy. I think you're all crazy.
But don't matter. After the year, they're going to sign Ohtani, so they'll have Ohtani to DH. Yeah, I said it. Ohtani's going to be a Dodger. Makes sense, right? Does it make sense for him to go to the Dodgers? Do you think he doesn't want to? I just don't feel like he can handle. He wants to handle the New York.
I don't
media.
think he's going to be a Royal.
Well, yeah, we could. All right, we could throw out the bot. The
I don't think he's going to be a Marlin.
He's not going to be a Pirate.
I don't think he's going to be a Ray. I don't think he's going to be a Twin or a Brewer or a White Sox, and he's not going to be a Cub. Not going to be a Cardinal. Well, and they're not going to be a Cardinal.
I can see that there's only one reason why.
Not going to be an Astro. He's not going to be a Ranger.
I can only see one reason why he'd go to the Cubs.
To get the Midwest market?
Well, no, he could play with Seiya Suzuki. They probably know each other.
Stop. It's going.
I would say the Dodgers or the Mets. I mean, I guess the Giants will probably throw money at him. Seattle could be a dark horse for him.
That would, you know what? Maybe we should do. Maybe you know what? You do that. Come up with a legit list. He's not going to be a D-back.
No, not going to be a. Oh, the Padres. Well, apparently the Padres will.
Padres are on the list because they offer everybody money. So Padres are on.
My top 5 right now will be Padres, Dodgers, Mariners, Giants, and Mets.
How about this? Are you really like if the Padres do not win the West, do not make a run in the postseason, and they're sitting here talking World Series or bust, what do you do? Be honest. What do you do? AJ Preller's had his job. He's spent, rebuilt. He's done all this crazy stuff, AJ, and he's had his job since like 14.
Yep.
Like at what point are you like, I'm now guaranteed well over $1 billion in salary, and we haven't won anything.
1.014 billion to be exact.
And now you're going to allow him to go out and sign Shohei Ohtani to $50 million a year. Like,
well,
what?
It just came out this morning. I have the exact number. Let me grab it. There was an article in The Athletic from Ken Rosenthal, highlighting the Aaron Judge saga, and apparently the Padres offered somewhere in the range of $415 million over at least 12 years for Aaron Judge.
Okay, so think about that. At that point, they hadn't signed Xander Bogaerts.
Correct.
Bogaerts signed for like a 280, 285.
280, yeah.
280?
I think it was 280. It was one of them. I think it was 2.
Doesn't really matter, right? Okay, so you now offered Aaron Judge $100 million more than Xander Bogaerts. The reason why I say that is that their commitment of past 2024 is over $1 billion, right?
Correct.
So you'd be at like 1.1 something if Aaron Judge would have signed, guaranteed after 2024. Instead of being at $1 billion, 0.04, whatever you say it is, it'd be over 1.1 billion. And now you're going to go after, now you still got to sign Soto. That's 400 something. That's a commitment of now 1.5 billion. I mean, we're throwing around billions trying to build a ballpark. They're throwing out billions. They don't have that money. That's the thing. They don't have it. You're spending everything you have. And nowhere in life is that ever good. Nowhere in life does anyone advise you every cent, where's your wallet, where's your phone? I can pay, Apple Pay. No one ever says in life, spend everything you got. Nobody uses that as a success barometer. Nobody who's successful says, take everything you got, spend it, good luck.
Plus, everyone keeps saying what we keep hearing. Buster and Tim Kirchin talked about the other day. Ohtani the contract negotiation can start with him with $60 million a year. If you're paying, that's $600 million if you pay him for 10 years. $60 million a year. So you add that. That's almost $2 billion the Padres would be committed to if they had signed Judge too.
You will never, ever, ever mark the tape, even though my computer's playing. Even though it's not tape, mark the tape. You'll never, ever. I question all these deals, correct?
Yeah.
I crap on these deals. None of these deals are good. It's going to be a ton of bad money. It's ridiculous. What we're doing is a joke. It's an absolute joke. We're going to have a bunch of guys in their late 30s making all this money, and they stink because human beings don't get better as they get older unless they're on performance-enhancing drugs. And as long as we don't allow them to take testosterone and we don't allow them to do all this kind of stuff, they age. Justin Turner's a great example. He's aging. He's lost his bat speed. He's not the same guy. Guys start to lose their legs. They're not as fast. Their vision starts to go. The great Tony Gwynn had a great Tony Gwynn was, I remember it was a broadcast. It was a national, remember when he was doing like TBS or whatever? And Tony Gwynn said the one thing that people don't talk about with performance enhancing drugs, it was mainly steroids, is steroids work. Right? That's why we give, when my father was dying and he was in the hospital, it's a difference, not anabolic steroids, but when they gave my dad steroids, my dad could get up and walk around the hospital. I mean, like all of a sudden he looked like a different guy. Steroids work, right? Anabolic steroids, these steroids that these athletes have used all these years, it works. What's the one thing steroids do that no one ever talked about? Do you know?
Eyesight?
Improved eyesight.
Oh, improved. Okay.
It improved your eyesight.
I thought you were going to say it was a side effect of taking it away.
No, it improved it. So as guys are getting older, FP Santangelo, who's back in the Bay Area, right? Is he still doing stuff on
Nights
KMBR?
on KMBR, yeah.
Yeah. FP Santangelo told me, he's like, man, by the time he was like 32, he couldn't see the spin on the ball. Players will tell you that. Well, now I'm 38 years old and I'm hitting jacks because I feel like I'm 27 because I'm on PEDs and my eyesight's great again. So until we start allowing these guys to take stuff, you're throwing money at guy 37. You think Manny Machado is going to be great through this contract, or Xander Bogaerts? I mean, it's ridiculous the money we're paying these guys.
Nando.
But with all that said, there's one guy, I said mark the tape, there's one guy that I will not complain about the money, and that is Shohei Ohtani. Do you know why?
Because he's going to make you money?
That's it. He's a return ROI, folks. Look it up. Return on investment. Trey Turner, no. Xander Bogaerts, no. Dansby Swanson, no.
Aaron Judge, I
think yes.
Yeah,
Aaron Judge puts butts in the seats. Carlos Correa, I get no return on investment. The Giants are so lucky they didn't sign him. Who are people really lining up? I got to get my season tickets. I got a shortstop who's going to be hurt and maybe hit 25 home runs. No.
Carlos Rodon is a big pitcher.
Rodon
now hurt.
Go ahead, tell him. Breaking news today.
Left forearm strain for the Yankees. Going to be on the injured list. Probably most likely going to miss the start of the season.
Who else?
Tommy Kahnle and Lou Trevino to go along with Frankie Montas.
Did we find out Sweet Lou? What's the problem?
Oh yeah, let me see. I was supposed to look that up.
But Shohei Ohtani is the one guy. That's a return on investment. You're investing. You're saying
elbow strain for Lou also.
I am going to pay this guy because he's going to make me money. You could talk all you want about he wins games as a starting pitcher and what he does as a hitter and all that. I am paying Shohei Ohtani because he's going to make me money. A lot of it. You open a whole new stream of income, international business, international sponsorships. Shohei Ohtani, whoever grabs him after Anaheim, is going to make, and maybe it still is Anaheim. I don't know. But it's going to be, he makes you money. Carlos Correa makes you nothing.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I agree about Ohtani.
Return on investment. He may be the greatest return on investment since Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth saved baseball. Look it up, folks. Babe Ruth, baseball was struggling, depression, tough times. Babe Ruth showed up. The 3 games, whatever team they were playing would sell out, put money in their bank accounts. Babe would go to the next city. They'd sell out. And Babe Ruth helped keep baseball alive. He was a cash cow for the game of baseball. You want to know your importance in baseball? How important are certain guys in baseball? Well, let me tell you something. A lot of the guys you think are important, they ain't that important. I'll tell you, there's a handful of guys that are really, really important because they help the business be strong. They help the game be strong. And Babe Ruth, I've always laughed when people try to I always laugh when people try and discount Babe Ruth. This sport's not this sport without Babe Ruth. Don't ever forget that. And Shohei Ohtani, return on investment, huge. All right, spring training. You've said it for years. What? I've always wanted to go.
I have.
Well, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking the
you said
consumer.
That. You said that, then you looked at me like, oh, you've always wanted to go.
I know you were just there. You're privileged.
Well, we didn't go to a game, so yeah, I've always wanted to go.
I've always wanted to go, or I want to go back. Well, we're going to give you a reason to go back. Joe Pun is the man that runs Hohocan Stadium for the Athletics. They do a great job. When you show up at our stadium, it essentially is it's the A's stadium. It's A's everywhere. It's not like Phoenix Muni used to be. It's a completely different vibe. He's the director of spring training business operations. You see him all over the place. He runs the show in Mesa. Here is my interview with Joe Pun. Us on A's Cast Live. When you go to spring training, this is the guy that's controlling everything. He is the director of spring training business operations for the Oakland Athletics, and Hohokam is his park. Joe Pun joins us here on A's Cast Live. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, guys. It truly is an honor and a privilege. It's great.
Well, I just think about, when people come down to spring training and everybody talks about what a great time. It's the best. We love this. We love that. They're coming down to your baby. This is what you do. This is your time of year. What is this season like? It's spring training. Games are going on when we're recording this. The Athletics today are going to be taking on Columbia, the Colombian team from the WBC. Just talk about this time of year for you.
You know what? Spring training is great. I think it's a chance for obviously a reset for everybody. Everybody's in first place. Everybody's excited about what this season looks like. But more importantly, I think even regardless of if they're A's fans or if they're fans of the visiting team, it's a chance for them to kind of get out of the cold. I know it might be a little bit rainy in the Bay Area today.
Oh yeah.
Down to Arizona. Yeah, you know what I mean? So we've got some sunshine out here today, thankfully, and a little bit warmer. But I think the biggest thing is, coming to this stadium, this is our 9th year. They hired me really right after we closed down Phoenix Muni and trying to figure out what this place is going to look like. And it's become like, for lack of a better term, like an oasis for A's fans. It's green and gold. It's kind of it's our stadium. Like it's a great place to be. And we try to make sure that obviously the games don't count. But at the end of the day, it's just experience. We want to make sure that they have a great time here. Whether they're an A's fan or a fan of the visiting team, it doesn't matter. Once you walk through those gates, like you're family to us. And, that's kind of my job for the next, remainder of this month and for 3 months leading into this. So.
Yeah. One thing, really want to let A's fans know that when they come down to this ballpark, Phoenix Muni was not like this. Phoenix Municipal, so many different people played there. And I know there's a lot of different games that are played at Hohokam, and we'll talk about that. But when you come to this ballpark in Mesa, Arizona, from the moment you show up, you walk around, it is truly it is the Oakland A's training facility. It's our spring training ballpark. Everywhere you look, it screams Oakland A's. It's something I think we're all very proud of.
Yeah, I mean, it is really great to have a place to call home, especially out here in Mesa. Like the city of Mesa has been great to us. We have 2 teams here. It's us and the Cubs. This used to be the Cubs' old stadium. There's a lot of history here. But for us to kind of move in and make it our own and kind of put our little spin on it, make sure that, our brand of baseball and, how we're having experiences for the fans, whether they want to watch the game or they just want to come out and have a good time. Like that's my job. And I think we've done a pretty good job at it. It's great to see familiar faces from Oakland come down here. Like we had Right Field Will the other day. We had a bunch of other season ticket holders that are season ticket holders in both locations. It's great to see them come down and then experience what we've got. We try to do things a little bit differently. Our brand of spring training is more traditional old school type of spring training, like up close and personal, smaller stadium. We've got a lot of charm that goes in here. And we try to make sure that, from the second that they drive on the property, whether it's our parking attendants or the guys at the gates or security guards, like they've all been here for the last 9 years with me. Like that's another great thing about Hohokam is that our staff, if you come and watch a game here, like in 2015, if you watched a game here yesterday, generally speaking, it's going to be the same people. And we've been really lucky about that, to have them come back year in and year out and then just build relationships with our fans. So it's been great.
It really goes hand in hand with the Oakland A's brand, because the Oakland A's brand has always been a family atmosphere. You have people, we just had Steve Vucinich and Keith Lippman retire. Both guys have been here 52 and 54 years. There's so many employees that have been here for 40 years, 30 years. I try to explain it to people, especially in business operations and also in the baseball operations. It's like a family business. If you look at, how long David Forrest, our general manager, has been here, Billy Bean, who's still here, and everybody under them, that's something special. And I love what you say. Like, if I come here this year and I was there 5 years ago, or I'm here or I come 5 years from now, I'm going to see the same faces. It's that family atmosphere that you guys have created that Oakland has had for years. You have it there in Mesa.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a testament to kind of like how we do things. I think organizationally, like you said, it's very family oriented. We're all in this together. Granted, a lot of our staff here really aren't actually technically employees of the A's. They're third-party vendors, but they come back year in and year out because they love our fans. They love the people that come to the ballpark. They build relationships. When you go up to Gate C and you see a familiar face there, you see Matt or Chuck scanning your tickets. It's like, man, I haven't seen you in 11 months. How you been? It's great to see you again. And then even our concession stands and our staff in-house, it's our primary job, I think, is really, like I said, the games. They're more exhibition. They're more to get work in. They're more to see like, hey, what's going to happen this year in Oakland. But when you're down here, it's just more of like, hey, we want to make a good experience. We want to make it so that even if you're not a fan of baseball, like there's something for you to do. There's something for you to enjoy. And nothing is better than being greeted with like a smile and a handshake and just walking them into the ballpark. I think that's kind of what we hang our hat on. So,
when we were last there, I picked up the magazine that they have at the airport for you, and it talks about every single team. And actually, I learned some stuff. I did not realize that Hohokam opened up in 1977, and the A's were the first team to play at this ballpark. So I know for years when I went there, it was, as you said earlier, it was the Chicago Cubs. But talk about really our true history was opening up this ballpark. Where was everybody in 1977? Maybe a lot of people watching this or listening to this weren't alive, but I was long time ago. But this has been the A's home before.
It has, yeah. Our history really starts in Mesa. Prior to Hohokam 1 being built, we were actually at Rendezvous Park. And this is, obviously really old school type of spring training, like what mostly looks like our practice fields today. We started spring training back then, even a little bit earlier in the 70s. And then Hohokam Park 1, which is actually not this stadium, but very close to this. We were still there and we opened it. And then from that point on, I'd have to go back and check the numbers and the dates, but the Cubs moved in shortly after that. And they built this stadium, which is called Hohokam 2, I believe in the mid to late 90s. And so this stadium has been around for roughly 30 years or so. We've obviously been here for the last 9. But the A's in the city of Mesa, the history goes back, pretty extensively. And some of the people that we work with, obviously with city council and things like that, but even our nonprofit group that does all of our ushers and parking, the Mesa Hohokams, they were the ones originally to bring spring training to the city when we were first here. So it's kind of like a full circle moment for us. And, we do love being here, and it's been a great fit.
Let's talk about all the new things that are going on. I wasn't able to get out there, but you now have on the berms, and that's one of the great things about spring training. A lot of the ballparks have the berms, or you can put the towel out and get a tan and enjoy yourself. It's the sun. But you've got now like a right field deck out there on top of the berm. Let's talk about some of the new things fans can enjoy.
You know what? We're always trying to, think of new concepts that maybe have not been seen before in baseball. Like you said, the berm is like a great addition for spring training, just across the board, having that grass sit down like a picnic. Well, we thought about like, how do we make that a little bit more upscale, a little bit more, shaded and private. So myself and Steve Finelli, the great Steve Finelli, we were looking at this and like, what if we did some type of deck out there that's not necessarily like a hospitality area per se. It's not a party deck. It's just a place that, hey, I want to go catch the game out in right field, get some rays, but also have like a nice patio furniture with some shade and maybe some lawn seats and patio games. So right after the Super Bowl, we started building this thing, and we named it aptly the Bullpen. And so in right field, we actually have a double stacked bullpen for the stadium. So we have ourselves and then the visiting team. And then right behind that, we have the new bullpen for our fans to kind of enjoy a game out there. It's been great. We've got big Connect Four. We've got, a lot of patio games. Like I said, nice cushioned seats, lawn chairs, shade. And what we're trying to do is, just give a little bit of a different experience. You don't see that a lot at some of the other ballparks, and testing it out. Honestly, it's just like spring training for this season. We're testing it, trying to figure out how's this going to work, but it's been great. People love it. And I like to say, we encourage people to go out there and warm up in the bullpen on a nice sunny day during spring training. It's been great.
And one thing that we love as A's fans, we love good food, and we love some food trucks. And I think that option has been great. You got food trucks down the left field line. When did you guys finally decide? Was it what was happening in Oakland? I mean, what was the decision, food trucks, and let's have the best food options possible for the fans? When did you guys decide that?
Yeah, actually, year one, we started bringing in food trucks. We wanted to mix it up a little bit. I mean, obviously, you come to a baseball game, you want to have a hot dog, you want to have a hamburger, you want to get, peanuts and Cracker Jacks and things like that. That's a staple. Absolutely, we'll have that. But we also wanted to have just a couple of different options, a little bit more crafty type of food. Honestly, the first food truck that we started working with was actually the last year at Muni, and it's a staple here at the ballpark, and it's mustache pretzels. So it's just a more premium pretzel that's shaped like a mustache. It looks like Raleigh fingers, perfect for our team. It comes with two little toothpicks on it. People take photos with it all the time. And in addition to that, we've got Mexican food. We've got wood-fired pizza that they will cook right there on site for you. They don't make it until you order it. We've got the Corn Dog Company, craft coffee with Luana's, just really high-end coffee drinks, like things that aren't necessarily traditional baseball food, but just bring some life to the ballpark. And I'll tell you, the first thing that people get once they walk through the gates every year, if they haven't been here, is they go straight to that mustache pretzels truck and get that pretzel. It's awesome.
I love it. It is the best. It's such a great experience, and I'm glad that everything's getting back to normal and A's fans can get down there and enjoy spring training because, yes, you're right. It is raining again here today. It's like they're going to change our name to the Seattle A's. It rains every single day, but I can't wait to get back down there. I'll be back down this weekend. Joe, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I mean, you're really busy. You got a big game today with the WBC team going to be there. I know your whole staff is meeting as we speak, but taking the time, we truly appreciate it. You do an outstanding job. You and your staff are second to none. Thank you so much, and we'll see you this weekend.
Hey, thanks again for having me, guys. Appreciate it. And yeah, and you haven't been down, please come visit us. We got a couple more weeks left. Love to see you. Go A's.
There you go. A little spoon just like that.
All right, thanks.
Whoops, my bad.
Wow. Poor producing by you. Me saying goodbye to the great Joe Pun.
Well, at least people heard you say goodbye again.
Well, there you go. Does that get you fired up to get down to Arizona? At least, if you can't hop on a quick flight, plan for next year. I mean, spring training's awesome. If you love baseball, you love sunshine, it's the way to go. All righty. Coming up next, we have some trivia for Johnny.
Dodgers trivia.
Know
your Dodgers.
Know your Dodgers next, right here on A's Cast Live.
It's that time of the year. Single game tickets are now on sale for the 2023 season. Secure your tickets for some of the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. From opening weekend against the Angels to the 50th reunion of the 1973 World Series team, to unique giveaways like Pit Viper glasses. There is so much happening at the ballpark this season. Don't miss out on other homestands as we take on the Giants, Padres, Yankees, Cubs, and Braves. Visit athletics.com/tickets to get yours now. That's athletics.com/tickets.
This is Chris Townsend for my favorite golf course in the Bay Area, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Tucked in the beautiful hills of San Jose, Cinnabar Hills offers the finest 27 holes of championship golf in Silicon Valley. Come see the amazing new renovated clubhouse and restaurant, plus patio dining with the most breathtaking views. Cinnabar Hills is far more than a golf course. One of the premier places in the Bay Area to host weddings and any type of events. There's no golf experience like Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Go to CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
Chevron with Techron has unbeatable engine cleaning power, and it gives you unbeatable mileage for all kinds of unbeatable destinations, like time in the sun at the beach, or time in the sun riding roller coasters, or a day in the sun hiking mountains. Well, probably just one mountain would be enough for a day, but hiking a mountain is still an unbeatable choice for how to spend time. Download the Chevron app now to get unbeatable mileage at locations near you.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Innovation is at the core of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students preserve genetic information from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and the entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
This is Chris Townsend, and if you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see my friends at the Chicken Pie Shop at Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
Streaming from the town, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
All right, an atmospheric river. You know what an atmospheric river is?
It's a very fancy term. It's something with rain, but I have no idea what it actually does.
It's what's happening as we speak here in the Bay Area.
I just call it rain.
Atmospheric river is a long, narrow band of tropical moisture that's carried along mid and upper parts of the atmosphere. The rivers in the sky can transport significant amounts of water vapor from tropical regions near the quarter to mid-latitude locations in Northern California. That, and then I just got my update from the San Jose Mercury News that this is the heaviest storm we are going to get hit by that's happening right now. It's like I'm breaking news to you.
I know it's raining outside. We just walked out there. It was raining.
That this is the heaviest that we've seen since January. And here Johnny is sitting down there in 70 degrees Mesa, Arizona with his tan and his sunscreen. And we're all here with canoes and lifeboats trying to figure out how it's going to rain for like the next week. I hope you feel for us when you're sitting there in your polo and your shorts and we're sitting here drenched.
I feel for you a little bit, Downey, but I'll say this. Hazy skies. It is a little chillier, but it's in the 70s. No complaints at all, Downey. No, it's great here. It's great here. So it does sound like it's going to pour over there, though. So good luck with that.
Well, I'm out of here. I'll see you on Saturday. I'll be back in Arizona.
Nice.
I'm getting out of here.
All right. Glad you're coming out.
I'm ditching this spot. Before we talk about Mueller, Tarnock, my guy Connor Capel, who I've been bullish on, it's now time for your daily edition of Know That Team. And today we previewed the Los Angeles Dodgers. Tim Neverett came on. Obviously, you know real well. His son does play-by-play for the Las Vegas Aviators, Matt, and he's come on this show many times.
Yep.
He talked about how he saw you today, but it's Dodger baseball. How
That's right.
well do you know your Dodgers? Go.
Know your Dodgers, question 1, Johnny. In the 1990s, the Dodgers had 5 straight Rookie of the Years. Can you name them?
Wow. I tell you this. I can go Sutcliffe, Sachs, Fernando, and Sutcliffe, Howe, Fernando, and Sachs, 79 to 82. That's what I can do. 90s, let's see. Let's go Greg Brock. Is he there?
No.
Okay. Mike Marshall? No, that was past.
You got it.
Wrong decade.
Later on.
I got the wrong decade. The wrong decade.
One guy's a Hall of Famer.
He's also managing.
Piazza?
That's one.
Piazza. Who was the first baseman?
Piazza.
EK is on Fox Sports.
Great hair.
Great.
Eric Harris. Of course.
This guy's outfielder.
This is going to be a tough one. But think split finger fastball from Japan.
Oh, Hideo Nomo?
Hideo Nomo.
Okay.
And then 2 outfielders.
And outfielder, huh? You got it. Can you give me initials?
His son is currently playing right now
for the Red Sox as a shortstop.
Oh, in the 90s?
RM are his initials.
He was a thick slugging, fast guy in the outfield.
What do you got?
Raul Mondesi.
And the other guy's Todd Hollinsworth. That's a hard one to get. All right, second question. Who was the last Dodgers infielder to win the National League MVP award?
The last Dodger infielder to win the MVP. Is it Garvey?
That's correct. There's
bing,
one.
Bing, bing, bing. Atta baby.
1974, right?
Oh,
correct.
he got the year.
Yeah, there you go.
The great Johnny Doskow got the year. I love it.
They lost in the World Series that year to the A's. Members of the Dodgers all switch hitting infield. Can you name any of them?
Now,
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
I want you to know this was my father's favorite trivia question, and I'm calling this the Marty Lurie special because Marty Lurie, I mean, if anybody know this, it's the great Marty Lurie, our historian, who's now on KMBR 680, does a great job. Formerly on our broadcast, now on the Giants broadcast. Bay Area Radio Hall of Famer, Marty Lurie.
Absolutely, Marty Lurie, Bay Area Hall of Famer, legend. Okay. I will say, all switch hitting infield.
All switch hitters.
Is Jimmy the Cat Lefevre one of them?
Yes,
one.
Okay. Maury Wills?
That's 2.
Okay. Wes Parker.
That's 3.
3. One more.
Okay. Jim Gilliam?
Yeah!
Okay.
Johnny D with the grand. Touch them all. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
All right. So,
that's so good.
Now, remember one of those names because he's the answer to the next question. I won't say which one.
What? We got more?
First home run ever hit by a Dodger at Dodger Stadium.
It's one of those guys.
It got to be Wes Parker, right?
No.
Jimmy the Cat Lefevre?
No.
Not Maury
not Maury Wills.
That's the guy you named last.
Right.
Jim Gilliam in April 11th, 1962. Bonus trivia.
This is for the brand new car. You get this, you get the brand new car.
Right.
First home run ever hit at the LA Coliseum by a Dodgers player.
Remember they played at the Coliseum before Dodger Stadium was built.
Is it Wally Moon?
From what my research showed, it was Dick Gray in the second game of the season.
Oh, that's a great question.
Hank Sauer hit the first ever home run for the Giants in Game 1 against the Dodgers. So there you go.
Know your LA Coliseum Dodgers.
Right, exactly.
We had a question about the Tropicana field that we'll save for later when we play the Rays.
The Trop, yes. Because we saw today there, MLB Network was doing this special about the Rays and an expansion team. The great Alice Cooper performed the first game ever at the Trop. I did not know that. That'll be part of your Know Your Rays Day when we preview the Tampa Bay Rays. All right. These games are not on TV. You know I'm loving me some Kyle Muller. I like me some 6'7" confident lefty. How did he look?
He looked good, especially early on. His stuff was crisp. Slider looked really sharp. And look, as we get into these guys throwing, 50, 55, they'll throw close to 60 pitches, they can let it go a little bit. So I thought he looked really good, Townie. I think he's got a great chance of being in the starting rotation. I think he will be. And he's just pitching with a lot of confidence right now. And he'll just keep getting better and better as he gets stretched out. So I thought it was a good performance by him for sure.
Well, my God, if we keep talking about everybody's going to do this 6-man rotation, you may get a couple starts this year.
Yeah, there could be a lot of, look, and this is a big start for Adam Oller today. Adam Oller's getting the start for the A's today, and it's a big start for him with the new grip on his slider and see how he can do. He's had some good outings. So, look, it's spring training, and I know it's early. People like say, oh, it's so early and everything, but guys are competing for jobs right now. So these are important starts for these guys. So you can't downplay it,
How is this early? It's March 8th.
Yeah.
Season starts March 31st. What's early? In a couple of weeks, you're either going to be here or you're not. Every at-bat, every inning right now matters. So, when I say it's not early, I'm trying to pull up my calendar here. When you start looking at it's not early, my God, it's the 9th.
Yeah.
You got basically 2 weeks. And then there's going to be the break. First game is March 31st. If someone's saying it's early, you're late you're a horse that's at the back of the pack and Secretariat and everybody's lapping you at this point. You mentioned Adam Oller. Adam Oller, we had a great discussion with him at spring where he talked about, learning yourself and then learning how to compete at this level. It was Stephen Vogt who took him under his wing. Let's figure out what you do well. And then let's look at the scouting reports and learn what you do well, how that goes up against the hitter's weaknesses that we are going to face. And it was a whole process. Is the interview still on YouTube?
Yeah, it's all of our interviews are up there.
It's fascinating because it really takes you into learning how to pitch and compete at this level. It's not all just God-given ability. Everybody throws hard. Everybody's got spin. Everybody's got that. But how do you apply that and actually do the only thing? There's only one thing that matters. Your velocity doesn't matter. Your spin rate does. None of that matters. I don't care what any of these dorks on Twitter say. The only thing that matters, do you get outs? You can have the greatest velocity. You can have the greatest spin rate. You don't get outs, your ass is going back to the minor leagues. The number one thing, do you get outs? And that's something Adam Oller learned how to be a pro at the second half of last year, and a lot because of Stephen Vogt. You talk about veteran leadership in a clubhouse, Johnny, man, that is huge. Adam Oller is a different guy now than what we saw at the beginning of last year.
Absolutely. And, the thing is with Adam Oller, he's not fighting himself so much anymore. He got so frustrated before, and he talked to somebody, and it really helped out. And, he's a guy that, he would take every piece of failure he used to have, he took that with him, and it bottled up, and he got so upset, and he's learned how to manage it. He's learned how to understand failure, and I don't mean to say so much embrace it, but he kind of understands how the game works a little bit more, and so he's not fighting himself as much, and I think that's key. So one home run doesn't make a bad start. I think he's a different guy now in the way he approaches the game. And I think having that one-on-one time with Stephen Vogt, and Vogt's done it with a lot of guys, he gets that one-on-one time with them and kind of gives them a different perspective on themselves. And I think Vogt did that with Adam Oller. But again, this is a huge start for Oller. And, people may downplay it, but I think it's big. So, yeah, he is a different guy now, and we'll see what happens today.
Well, yeah, I mean, all these guys are going to play. People just need to understand where we are in every organization, let alone the A's. We used 30 pitchers last year. We're going to use more than that this year. And it's just a reality. Even the Mets, they're spending all this money, and they're talking about a 6-man rotation. I hate it, but it is where he is. Drew Rucinski, as they like to say, he is the American version of Shohei Ohtani over in Korea. I don't know if that means he was a human ATM like Shohei Ohtani is for the Angels, but obviously a special story, goes over to the KBO, dominates. He's a star over there. Let's see how it translates back over here. It could be big for the A's.
It could be, and look, his story is amazing because he was in independent ball. He was going to go over Korea for 1 year. He and his wife said, and Matt Kawar had a great article on it. He was going to go for 1 year. He ended up 4 years over there. And he was a ground ball machine, and he learned how to pitch. And so he's just a great story. He's a great guy. And look, he was going to start today, but Kotsay said, I want him to go 4 innings, and I want Aller to go 4 innings. I need bullpen to get some work. So he's going to go over to the minor league park and face hitters for 4 innings and get his work in. So that's how it kind of get both guys the work. But look, he is. I think he's primed for a good year. He figured something out in Korea, and I think it's going to pay off here. He's been a ground ball machine.
Yeah, and that's something that you can find, right? When the A's are where we are, it's not like you're going to go find a bunch of Fujis, guys throwing 100 with a 92-mile-an-hour split. You're not going to find a lot of those guys. But Rucinski is a guy that if you can find, and for the price, is just gold.
Well, I just read an article that the Cubs were really, really serious about going after Rucinski, but the A's beat him to it. So the Cubs really wanted this guy. There's something to it. And look, Rucinski, I think he's got a great chance to be in the rotation, and I think he's going to surprise a lot of people this year. But what a road he has traveled, man. His first year, 2013, I believe, started with the Angels, then went to independent ball, then back to the Angels. He's bounced around independent leagues and went to Korea, and now he's found this niche. He's 34 years old, and I feel in the prime of his career. So he's going to do some damage this year. I think it'll be good.
What do you got about Chad Smith, who the A's acquired from the Colorado Rockies? Obviously going to play a big part in the Athletics bullpen.
Yeah, he's a key guy in that bullpen, Townie. Great slider. The metrics say one of the better sliders in the game. And he's another guy, ground ball machine. You can throw that slider. I've seen him throw it 5, 6, 7 times in a row, and they can know it's coming and still have trouble with it. It's just got great movement on it. And look, he's primed to have a good year too. He's figured something out as well. And I think just being with these pitching coaches here with Emo and company and McCarthy, I think he's gonna be a key part of that bullpen. He's gonna have a good year.
That is the sign of a great pitch, when everybody in the ballpark knows what's coming. And some guys can't hit it. It's what makes Mariano Rivera with the cutter, Trevor Hoffman with the changeup, Bruce Sutter with the split finger, guys who have just blown straight gas. But that's when a guy steps on the mound and goes, all right, everybody, this is what's going on. You either hit it or you don't.
Yeah.
That's when you got a good pitch.
And that's what we got today with the Dodgers. This starter, Ryan Pepio, he's got an outstanding changeup, and he's thrown it 4, 5, 6 times in a row. It's got some sinky. It's got almost a Dallas Braden type changeup, almost a screwballish, where it just darts and it fades. And I'm excited to see, because I watched him pitch last year in Oklahoma City, and this guy's got incredible stuff. And he's competing for the number 5 job with Gonsolin out. He has a chance. He's going to compete with Grove to try to get that number 5 spot in the Dodger rotation. So this is a big start for him as well, and he'll be around 55, 60 pitches as well.
I'm just looking it up. It's been a while that I've been in Oklahoma City, but if you're in Oklahoma City, yes, it's still open. Right across from the ballpark, Mickey Mantle Steakhouse in Oklahoma City is phenomenal. It is one of the best steakhouses I've ever been to. Yep. It's hard to believe it's in Oklahoma. Like, you go in there and it's very elegant. They have just black and white pictures of Yankees, Mickey Mantle. It's not this like you threw up baseball like Don and Charlie's. It's just very beautiful black and white, and they're very subtle, beautiful steak. There's always a jazz band playing in the bar. Mickey Mantle Steakhouse. You've been there multiple times. It is phenomenal.
Incredible. And Townie, we always looked at the schedule. Whenever I saw the schedule, the first thing we'd look at, Oklahoma City, please have a day game. Please have a day game. And if you didn't have a day game, you're like, no, because by the time you get out, it was too late for a night game, and they're not up for lunch. So that was the do or die. As soon as you saw the schedule, give me a day game so I can go to Mickey Mantle Steakhouse. I agree. Phenomenal steaks.
No, and you know what? I would say this, back in my partying days, you could get into some trouble in downtown Oklahoma City. There was some fun places.
Yeah, don't sleep on Bricktown. No, that's a good area. Sure.
There was the one place that you went, and it was massive, and there was like an 80s section, a 90s section, a disco section.
Yeah,
right? It was like this place is cool.
That was right across from the ballpark as well. Yeah, Bricktown's a really, really cool area, and it just continues to grow. And there's a spaghetti place there. There's all sorts of great restaurants there. And I love that. Just walk to the ballpark from the hotel. Oklahoma City's a great place. Underrated, the 405. Underrated.
I will tell you this. I saw the times of some of these WBC games without the pitch timer, and I am out. I am no longer. I am officially retired. I saw Japan, China was 3 hours and 46 minutes.
Wow. Yeah.
Italy, Cuba was 3 hours and 41. John, you called these games solo. There's no, I mean, you're going to get used to you've been getting used to this being in the minor leagues. I mean, going back to sitting there talking for almost 4 hours about what? I'm done. I'm out. I'm done with it.
Yeah, there were some long games. I remember even in 2021, I think maybe it was last year, we had a game in Reno that was 3:35, and it should have been 4:50. It would have been 4:50, maybe 5 hours if not for the pitch clock. So it was actually a relief having a 3.5 hour game in Reno, because some of those 16-15 debacles were so long. So it was nice that the pitch clock really helped out, and I got a feel for it in AAA, and now I think everybody's enjoying it here. I haven't heard too many negative things about the pitch clock from too many people, since it's exciting brand of baseball. It's more action and crisper. I think I'm on it. I personally wouldn't have minded it going to 17:22 instead of 15:20, but 15:20 guys are making the adjustment.
Yeah, I just don't know what when I've heard people say, well, why not 18? And it's like, you set a time, and they got to get the snap off in the NFL. They got to get the shut off in the NBA. We're seeing, it doesn't matter if it's college football, college basketball. Everywhere you look, people have a clock and they figure it out. It's not rocket science here.
Yeah, we look back in the day when in the 70s and 80s, these games were going 2.5 hours because you didn't need a pitch clock, because it was guys would stay in the box, and pitchers would stay on, get off the rubber lip, get back on quick, and you wouldn't need it. You already had a kind of built-in pitch timer, right? Guys would work quickly, but over the course of time, the game's gotten a lot slower, and guys taking their time, so they needed it. They needed to do this, so I think it's a good thing overall.
Is the Hall of Famer with you today, Ken Korak?
Yes, he is. Ken Korak's with me today, so looking forward to working with him today at the dot, seeing some. Look, even the Dodgers lineup that doesn't have the big hitters in it, with no Freddie Freeman, no Max Muncy, no Mookie Betts, it's still a good lineup. Like, they have so much depth that they still have a pretty good lineup. JD Martinez is in it. They have Vargas as a starter. Jason Hayward is in the lineup. You have Yanni Hernandez, chance to make the club. Michael Busch, a prospect. Steven Duggar, former Giant, is in the lineup. So it's still a pretty decent lineup and Pepio pitching. So we'll see what happens here, man. Should be a lot of fun, Townie. Looking forward to it.
All of that doesn't matter. I want to know one. You want to hook me? You want to get me to sit around and listen to baseball all day long? There's going to be one thing that hooks me. You got to promise me. You ready?
What do you got?
I need Ken Korak doing Vin Scully today.
Yeah, you know what? He was just doing it. He was just doing it just now. It's awesome. He did it. He gave me a Farmer John. He gave me like a minute of it. It was heaven. So yeah, I'm gonna insist.
Yes, insist. You want to keep me around? I need Korak, and I need Vin Scully on the broadcast.
Done deal.
Have a good call, buddy.
Thanks, bro. See ya.
Korak does a very underrated Vin Scully. I don't know if you know that. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Dodger Baseball. I do a horrible Vin Scully.
I've only ever heard him do the Farmer John. That's it.
Farmer John and Dodger Baseball.
That's all. Yeah, I've never heard him actually do. When we play the Dodgers this year, I can't remember if it's here or if it's in LA. If it's here and I see Ken before the game, I'll ask him to do it for us. Maybe we should bring him on down on the field and have him do a whole interview as Vin Scully.
It's a beautiful night here in Chavez Ravine, and make sure you get a Dodger dog from Farmer John.
Can you imagine Vin calling the first home run ever hit at the LA Coliseum by the Dodgers, Dick Gray? Or when
Can you imagine Vin showing up to the LA Coliseum, which you now see it, the track is gone. There used to be the monster track, of course, if you remember the 84 Olympics, which you don't, the monster track. So they had baseball, and there was the track, and I mean, can you imagine Vin going, this is where we're going to play? The porch to left field, it was like a pitching wedge to get it out of there. I can't imagine trying to pitch there.
Now LA Coliseum home to the USC Trojans.
That is correct.
And for before the Rams, then they came back. The Rams.
Yeah, the Rams. When the Rams came back, and when I was traveling with the Raiders, our preseason games against them it was at the LA Coliseum.
Now they play at
which is a dump.
Now they play at that sparkling new stadium, SoFi, which is the host.
I haven't done SoFi.
I was trying to go at the beginning of April. That's where WrestleMania is at this year. SoFi.
Ooh.
2 nights of WrestleMania at SoFi Stadium.
What's that ticket going to be like?
When we looked, nosebleeds were like $400.
Why would you spend $400 for nosebleeds?
That's what I mean. Like I wasn't going to spend
$400.
Yeah.
Wait, how's it 2 nights?
They switched it to 2 nights now. The last couple of years has been 2 nights.
What?
Yeah, they put so many matches on.
When's the main event?
Sunday night.
But there's only one main event.
They have a main event Saturday night and they have a main event Sunday night. So like
the Intercontinental Championship.
No, the
working man's champion.
That guy, by the way, the guy did it. He was in the Royal Rumble for over an hour. He was the last guy eliminated.
Who?
The guy that's the Intercontinental Champion now.
Who is the Intercontinental?
His name's Gunther. He's Austrian.
It's not Randy Macho Man Savage anymore.
It's not the Honky Tonk Man. Not him anymore.
Not Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect.
Oh, the late Kurt Hennig. The late Macho Man.
I think of all the great Intercontinental. Tito Santana. I can bring all the great.
The Rock.
What? The Rock?
Rock
was
a great IC champ
when he was first starting out. Rock got too big to be Intercontinental Champion.
Oh, that's why he was the heavy. That's why he was the WWE champion.
The good old days.
Yeah. Now, I mean, wrestling's there's a good storyline right now, but WrestleMania would be cool to go see there. I mean, because we saw it at Santa Clara.
We didn't even attack what happened on MLB radio yesterday. I'm going to be very vague.
Save it for tomorrow, but yes. Tease it.
I was supposed to start the show with it, but I went somewhere else.
We went with WBC Game Times.
Peyton Manning, Omaha. Tomorrow, you're not gonna believe this, but we've kind of Scott Emerson. I've addressed this with our pitching coach. He didn't like it, didn't want to go there, but it's starting to happen. How about that, tease? Something that your pitching coach we know doesn't like, but it's starting to happen, and I don't think he can stop it. And it was a hot topic yesterday on Sirius XM, Channel 89, the MLB channel. I don't like it. I think it's bad. And I don't think you have the data to prove it works. I mean, if that doesn't make you think, I can't wait tomorrow for A's Cast Live, I don't know what. There is something, it really is mind-blowing. What is happening, and there's no data to support it.
The data we do have, it didn't work when they did try it.
No. So it's like, we're going down a road. It's like, hey, let's all get in a luxury liner, put it on full speed, and race through the Atlantic Ocean knowing there's icebergs everywhere. How'd that work out with the Titanic?
Not great.
All right, full steam ahead. Well, the Titanic's at the bottom of the ocean. Now we're all getting on Titanic 2, Titanic 3, Titanic 4, and let's race across the Atlantic and see who misses the icebergs. That's where we're going. Am I being a little dramatic?
I mean, we're just looking ahead 111 years from when the Titanic actually sank. But yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like this doesn't work, and everybody's about to do it. And it doesn't work. There's plenty of boats at the bottom of the ocean that tried this, and it didn't work. But you know what? But now it's going to work. Now it's going to happen.
Well, if
it's
you ask,
crazy, and you're spending a boatload of money to do it. It'd be one thing if you're not spending any money. You're spending a boatload of money to run into an iceberg and go to the bottom of the sea.
I was waiting for you to do another way to tease it too. Is you can do your Kirkshin and talking to a future Hall of Famer.
I talked to a future Hall of Famer because he's a future Hall of Famer. He's just smarter than everybody else.
That's part of the tease.
Oh. Yeah, future Hall of Famer. Yeah, Hall of Famer. You know, Hall of Famers' IQs are just way better than everybody else.
Yep,
they're the smartest guys in the world. They could solve all the problems because they're in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
These guys aren't even in yet.
They're immortals. Oh God! Coming up next, we got A's baseball. It's the Athletics. It's the Dodgers. It's Ken Korak hopefully doing a little Vin Scully. It should be fun, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. I'm telling you, we've got some great stuff for tomorrow. You're going to love it right here on A's Cast Live. Enjoy A's baseball.
Unbeatable mileage from Chevron with Techron unlocks all kinds of unbeatable trips, like to family dinner the next town over.